Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, UF facing a potential class action lawsuit. Why a graduate student says the university owes for services not rendered during the COVID-19 shutdown.
And top high school athletes earning money for their names, image, and likeness. We have reaction from parents and students on the Florida High School Athletic Association's new policy.
Plus, showers and storms heading our way. The UF weather team is timing out when the rain will hit our area. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The Florida Supreme Court will decide if a class action lawsuit against the University of Florida can move forward. This is WUFT's First at 5. I'm Jack Meyer.
And I'm Jada Ross. The lawsuit centers around a UF graduate student seeking to require the school to refund money for services not provided during the COVID-19 campus shutdown in 2020. It's one of several lawsuits in the state and across the country. Attorneys for Anthony Rojas went to the Supreme Court after a divided First District Court of Appeal rejected the potential class action lawsuit. The suit stems from fees that students paid for services such as transportation, healthcare, and athletics. Under sovereign immunity, government agencies can face lawsuits if it is shown that contracts have been breached. And that's the key issue Rojas's attorneys are arguing.
The students did not receive anything for their money during the time it was shut down. That is the breach. It needed to be expended during that student year, so what's left over should go back to the students.
In a brief back in January, UF attorneys said there is no contract for these services like ones that provide educational services in exchange for tuition and fees paid, and they agree that the case should be dismissed. UF continued to offer classes online during the shutdown, and Rojas's lawsuit does not seek tuition refunds. It will likely take several months before the justices issue a ruling.
High school athletes in Florida could soon start making money from their name, image, and likeness. The Florida High School Athletic Association voted unanimously on the new policy Tuesday. WUFT's Bianca Smith is live in the studio with more on Florida becoming the latest state to approve NIL deals.
The deal was voted on Tuesday, but has been in the works since February. We've seen deals like this in the college sports world. These NIL deals include business endorsements, promotional activities, and social media posts. The concerns for some is how this will affect future recruiting, while those on the other side of the coin toss are embracing it.
Our number one priority is to try to make sure we have an equal playing field.
Executive Director of the FHSAA, Craig Damon, says that it took some time to get things to this point. He says strict penalties are in place to keep things running smoothly.
We will do our best as staff to make sure that we keep a level playing field and try to protect the other student athletes and their rights that maybe aren't receiving an NIL.
Student athletes aren't allowed to accept just any deal. Athletes aren't allowed to endorse alcohol, tobacco products, social causes, or gambling. Bryce Jefferson, a former competitive high school athlete, says he wished he had this opportunity in high school.
Would have been ecstatic to be there. Would have helped my mom definitely with not paying as much for college. Probably and may have went to even different colleges just because.
Bryce's mother questions the fiscal responsibility of a person her son's age.
How much money are we talking about? Because when I think about putting monies into young people's hands, financial literacy is so important. I think about
There are still a few hurdles left as the approval is pending ratification by the State Board of Education on July 24th. The changes will go into effect for the upcoming school year. Today, Jamie French Jr. and Darnell Brown, a pair of top Florida wide receivers, committed to a NIL deal with American Eagle. Reporting live in studio, Bianca Smith, WUFT News.
Parts of our area are already seeing some showers. You're taking a live look at a Columbia County rest stop off of I-75. The showers are expected to continue throughout the evening commute. UF forecaster Desiree Waters is in the weather studio with how long the rain will stick around.
So we're already showing a few showers here in the Gainesville area, but we're going to keep looking at those showers. We're going ahead and seeing some here in Lake City. They're going ahead and coming down here in North Alachua County. We're also going to keep tracking those because later on we're going to talk about these showers that are over here in southern Mississippi and how that's going to affect us in Gainesville coming up. And then also we want to make sure that we're going to take a look at our campus view. As you can see, we already are expecting some showers and some dark clouds are coming our way. And we're going to talk about the hot and muggy weather, Thursday showers, and a sunny weekend all to come up next.
An Ocala man was arrested on Tuesday for allegedly sexually abusing a 6-year-old girl. 65-year-old Mark Grabenstein now faces charges of lewd or lascivious conduct with a minor. The victim originally disclosed that Grabenstein had assaulted her after her mother noticed bruising on her thighs. Deputies say he previously provided after-school care for the victim and 2 other unidentified minors. In an interview with Marion County detectives, Grabenstein denied the abuse allegations, but a medical examination of the victim determined there were positive findings for sexual abuse. He is now being held in Marion County Jail without bond. A Gainesville man will spend the next 84 months behind bars after being convicted of possessing child pornography. Last September, investigators say Robert Godwin searched for child sex abuse content online. He was charged with 12 counts of child pornography. The 71-year-old accepted a plea deal last month for 2 counts. After he completes his sentence, Godwin must complete sex offender probation.
Firefighters in Marion County are working to learn what caused a home to catch fire early this morning. Callers started reporting seeing flames at the home on Juniper Passway. That's not too far from Baseline Road. Fire crews say getting the flames under control was a challenge due to ammunition going off in the home, but the blaze was under control in about 30 minutes. No one was reported hurt.
Major country rock stars like Jason Aldean, Kid Rock, and Lynyrd Skynyrd are among the acts coming to Ocala this weekend. Rock the Country Music Festival is held at the Majestic Oaks Horse Farm this Friday and Saturday. The festival is expected to attract a large influx of fans, and the Marion County Sheriff's Office is asking for folks to be mindful of increased traffic and for the locals to find alternative routes. If you're interested in attending, tickets can be found at rockthecountry.com.
Marion County drivers are advised to watch for temporary lane closures on Interstate 75 in the coming months, as the city continues its work on a new gateway installation. County officials are working closely with the City of Ocala in overseeing the project, which would see the southernmost gateway installed at the 42nd Street flyover to welcome northbound traffic into Marion County. Residents and visitors should expect lane closures throughout the summer as the outer towers of the gateway featuring the Marion County logo are installed. On-site construction is expected to continue over into the fall, with the project's anticipated completion date set for early 2025. Alachua County announced it received $13.1 million from the state of Florida to complete the Archer Braid Trail. The final edition of the trail is a 1.7-mile connector from Veterans Memorial Park to Celebration Point. Once completed, the trail will stretch almost 10 miles long. The trail is a part of the county's bicycle master plan and comprehensive plan. County Commission Chair Mary Alford says it will be a safe option for those traveling to UF from the southwest Alachua area.
School leaders in Alachua County want your input in naming their district office. A meeting will be held tomorrow at 6 p.m. in the boardroom of the district office located on East University Avenue. Anyone is welcome to come to the meeting to give their input. Under board policy, the name must be descriptive of the area or the name of a deceased person who has made a big contribution to local education or the well-being of the community. If you are unable to attend this meeting, there will be another held on June 27th.
Coming up next, when First at 5 returns, lawmakers are working to protect a woman's right to birth control access. Why Democrats say Republicans should get on board with their proposal. And the next chapter in spaceflight blasted off from Cape Canaveral this morning. How Boeing was finally able to pull off the feat after several failed attempts.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Democrats are working to pass legislation to protect a woman's access to contraception on a federal level. It comes ahead of the Supreme Court's decision on a controversial abortion ban. As Bree Jackson reports, the Senate is voting on the Right to Contraception Act and forcing Republicans to openly choose a side.
Reproductive freedoms are front and center as Democrats push to put Republicans on the spot about where they stand on access to contraceptives.
Americans' uncertainty about using birth control is one of the many shameful consequences of overturning Roe v. Wade. This is the mess Donald Trump, the MAGA Supreme Court, and the Republican-led Senate has created.
Democrats say they're focusing on a larger effort to protect reproductive rights nationwide. Many Republicans argue this latest bill, aimed at contraceptives, is less about passing legislation and more about sending a political message.
Democrats think they can win this case, this election based on reproductive rights, and somehow they're suggesting that contraception is in jeopardy, which is just blatantly false.
Since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, some Republican-led states have passed bills that limit access to abortions, and there are concerns about protecting IVF treatments, all of which are further dividing voters. While a recent NBC News poll found inflation and immigration are top of mind, Democrats are working to raise the stakes on issues like abortion.
Here we have reproductive justice, which we know that will mobilize voters.
The other part of this is you can wrap the abortion issue and reproductive freedom into a broader issue of preserving democracy and your own freedoms, whatever those freedoms happen to be.
The political debate comes as the country awaits a major Supreme Court ruling on whether to limit access to the widely used abortion medication, mifepristone. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
After 2 failed attempts, Boeing has finally launched its highly anticipated Starliner into space. The crewed spacecraft successfully launched from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station this morning. Boeing previously called off the mission twice, most recently on Saturday, due to a computer issue. Now, issues have been fixed, and the reusable capsule is currently on a 24-hour journey to the International Space Station. The Starliner holds NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams. The astronauts will return to Earth in the Starliner capsule in 8 days. Today's launch was the final milestone Boeing needed to hit to prove that they are ready for regular NASA operations.
The Bradford County School District is continuing their free food services into the summer. The service is a part of the Summer Break Spot program run throughout the state of Florida. The program offers breakfast and lunch to feed children in the Bradford community throughout the summer. On the screen are some of the 11 locations offering services. Only children under 18 are eligible to receive food. All sites are available to eligible participants. Times and dates are specific to location, and open sites will be determined by participation throughout the summer.
Marion County Fire Rescue officials are celebrating one of their own this week. MasterChef Junior contestant Michael Sagobin was awarded with a certificate of achievement for his accomplishments on the show. Michael is the son of Marion County Fire Rescue Lieutenant Dean Sagobin. Local North Florida communities rallied around him as he continued his impressive run throughout the show. He eventually finished as a runner-up in last month's season finale. In addition to his certificate of achievement, county officials have deemed Michael as the official chef of Marion County Fire Rescue.
We're currently watching some storms that are up at the north of Alachua County coming into Gainesville. More on that to come after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Currently on your screens, you can see our camera on I-75 Prince Perry. It is already starting to come down. As you can see here, we're going to go ahead and get into our radar of what that looks like for us in North Alachua County. Those storms are starting to come down here, and then we're going to head and move on. You can see here, it's going to be hitting us in downtown area. It's already coming down pretty good in the airport area now. Zooming out a little bit, we can see those are the storms that were up by the Lake City area that are now passing down through here. Mainly, a lot of the activity is going to be on the east of I-75. We're going to zoom out. There's a couple of scattered storms here in Marion County. Not a lot, a couple above north of Ocala. And now we're going to zoom out just a little bit more because there is going to be some storm activity, and we can see here our campus view. We can see a lot of the storm clouds already starting to come here on University campus. And now you can see here we're currently about 91 degrees here in Gainesville, Florida, in the low 90s down in Crystal River in the Villages area as well. Up in the Live Oak area, it's a little bit higher, a little bit lower in the 78 range because they've already experienced some of those storms. Moving on up to our hour by hour, we're already starting to experience some of those storms, and we're going to keep experiencing those all the way into the evening, and they're going to start to go away as soon as we get into Thursday. We're starting to track some storms in the South Mississippi area. That's going to come into effect tomorrow afternoon. Looking ahead, we're going to go to our future track. As you can see, some of those storms to the east of I-75 here and also in the Palaca area going down to Ocala and the Villages. We're going to continue to watch those overnight. Going into Thursday, clears up a bit, but we're going to continue to watch that here in that activity over here in the Tallahassee area that can affect us coming in Thursday afternoon. Moving on ahead a little bit further, after that, we're going to go into our tomorrow. We're going to have a warm start. It's going to be pretty hot and muggy and probably some afternoon scattered showers as well. And then looking ahead at our 7-day, we're going to keep experiencing some rain Thursday and Friday. Saturday and Sunday this weekend, we can expect a pretty sunny day. And then going into early next week, we're going to see that rain chance go up all the way up to 80% on Tuesday, and then going back down to 30% on Wednesday. And that's your Wednesday weather with Waters.
Coming up in sports, Gators softball faces an emotional end to their season. All that and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
I'm Rivera. We're in the midst of a busy sports week. Let's take a look. The last meet of the season for Gators outdoor track and field is upon us. Florida has 21 athletes out in Eugene, Oregon, competing in the NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championships. The 4-day event begins today with men's events. The men's relay team will compete first in the 4x100 meter relay semifinal at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Freshman Parvej Khan is expected to make an impression in the 1500 meter semifinal as the reigning SEC champion. Wanya McCoy is also expected to place as he competes in both the 100 and 200 meter sprints as one of the most versatile sprinters in the country. The Gators will close out the night with the 4x400 meter relay semifinal. All events will be nationally televised on ESPN2 with the final day to be broadcast on ESPN. Gators softball's incredible season came to an emotional halt last night after a loss in the Women's College World Series semifinals. The Gators were defeated by the 3-time reigning champion Oklahoma Sooners. Florida put up a tough fight, handing Oklahoma their first loss of the College World Series. The Gators have been defying the odds all season, originally predicted to place 7th in the SEC. In reality, they became SEC champions and found themselves all the way into the NCAA's championship semifinals. They accomplished this with freshman star pitcher Keegan Rothrock and senior Skylar Wallace.
Super grateful that I got to wear this uniform. Can't really put much words into it, but being a Gator is the best thing I ever did.
Last night's loss marks Wallace's last game as a Gator, but the shortstop leaves her mark on the program as the all-time run scorer in NCAA history. Gator baseball is gearing up to compete in the NCAA Clemson Super Regional. Florida faces 6th seed Clemson in a best-of-3 series in South Carolina on Saturday. The Gators are coming off of a win against Oklahoma State in the Stillwater Regional after forcing a Game 7. They won 4 of 5 games in the regional to move on to the next step towards an NCAA championship. Game 1 of the Clemson series is set for Saturday at 8 p.m. The Gators need to win 2 wins to punch their ticket to the College World Series. Lastly, Bella Sims, Emma Wyant, and Adam Chaney are among some of the Gator swimmers that are getting ready for the Olympic trials occurring next week. 10 Gator swimmers are on the U.S. national team, qualifying for their shot at making the U.S. Olympic team. Gators that have already secured their spot for the Paris Olympics include Alfonso and Alberto Mestre representing Venezuela and Josh Liendo representing Canada.
There really is nothing like the Olympics for summertime. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fun events to watch. Before we go, let's get one last check on the weather.
All right, we're going to still experience some of those showers Thursday and Friday, but we can expect a pretty nice sunny weekend and then more showers to come early next week.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and on all our social media platforms. Have a good night.